Hi everyone, my name is Mishra Shiva and I'm here with the Kansas City Public Schools, and this is your science for 5th and 6th grade. And today we will be learning about vertebrate animals. After this episode, guys, you will know what are vertebrate animals, and you will be able to identify them and describe their characteristic, and you will classify and describe the 5 groups of vertebrates. So you can see them listed on this whiteboard. Okay, let's get started.
Okay guys, let's go ahead and revisit our prior knowledge. What we already know, what we already learned. So we learned about ecosystem. All living and non-living things interacting with each other in an environment. So it's called ecosystem. So ecosystem can be as big as our planet or as small as simple tree. And we can divide living things in several groups. Producers, which are green plants. Producers make their own food through a process called photosynthesis. Consumers. Consumers are living things that cannot make their own food like producers. So in order to survive, they need to eat other producers, other animals or producers, other consumers or producers. And finally, decomposers. Decomposers are living organisms which are breaking down that organisms. They're breaking down to elements and returning back to the ecosystem. So today we're going to talk about two types of consumers, vertebrates and invertebrates, but in more details, vertebrates. That's the subject of our lesson today. So the vertebrates has 5 groups. So scientists divide them into 5 groups: mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and fish. Our planet is home for many different types of animals. Some fly, some swim, some breathe underwater, and some breathe air. Some animals have skeletons, and some animals don't. Scientists classify or sort animals into different groups that share important and similar characteristics. Many animals you see every day are vertebrates, or animals with the backbones. Vertebrates are divided into 5 main classes. Each class has a group of traits that separate the animals from other classes. Animals that have a skull and an endoskeleton, which is internal skeleton that support the body, provides attachment points for muscles and protect organs. This kind of animals called vertebrates. Vertebrates can either be cold-blooded or warm-blooded animals. Cold-blooded animals are called ectotherms, and their body temperature changes with the temperature outside. If it is a cold out, an ectotherm has a colder body temperature and is therefore less active. An endotherm is a warm-blooded animal, and its internal temperature does not fluctuate as much. Humans, for example, are endotherms, and lizards are ectotherms. Okay guys, let's talk about each group of vertebrates. So we're going to start with the fish, which is the largest group of vertebrates. Fish breathe underwater using gills, which are the structure that carries out gas exchange with the water. Fish have fins in their sides to help them to steer in the water, as well as on the top and the bottom of their body for stability. Fish have an endoskeleton made out of either bone or cartilage, which is a hard, flexible tissue. For example, your ears and your nose are made out of cartilage, which is why you can smush around your nose and ears with your hands. So most fish are bony. Fish reproduce using external fertilization, which is a process of fertilizing eggs outside of the body. Female fish squirt out eggs, and then male fish pass over eggs, releasing sperm to fertilize them. And fish are cold-blooded vertebrates. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next group. Our next group is amphibians. Amphibians are animals that live part of their lives in the water and part on the land. Frogs, toads, salamanders, and they're all amphibians. Like a fish, amphibians are ectotherms. In the cold weather, ectotherms became dormant, inactive, in order to conserve energy. In hot, dry conditions, ectotherms move underground to find cool and damp conditions where they remain dormant until the temperature outside is easier for them to handle. Amphibians are both their lungs and their skin to carry out gas exchange. Did you ever notice how frogs are slimy? Amphibians must always be moist to carry out gas exchange through their skin. Most amphibians are external fertilization, just like a fish do. Baby amphibians look completely different from adult amphibians. Amphibians go through metamorphosis, a body transformation as they age. Young amphibians, like tadpoles, live entirely in the water. They have gills and no legs. As the young amphibian ages, it grows legs and lungs and can often survive where there is little water. It will return to the water, however, when it is a time to reproduce. Next group, we're going to cover reptiles. Reptiles are vertebrates that live on the land. Like fish and amphibians, reptiles are ectotherms. When a lizard is cold, it will sit on a rock in the sun to warm itself. So when a lizard is hot, it will find shelter or cool place under the rock to cool down. In the winter, many reptiles undergo a process similar to hibernation called brumation. Turtles, lizards, alligators, and snakes are all examples of reptiles. Reptiles use internal fertilization, which means the egg is fertilized by the sperm inside the female's body. Reptiles lay soft-shelled eggs, which is an adaptation that allowed them to lay eggs on the land without the eggs dying. Their eggs are also amniotic. In an amniotic egg, the yolk provides the growing embryo with the food. Okay, our next group would be birds. Birds are vertebrates. They have wings, legs, beaks, feathers. In fact, birds are the only animals that have feathers. Birds are endothermic, which means they must use energy to generate their own heat internally, as opposed to getting it from the environment. They also lay hard shell eggs, which they sit on to keep warm until the babies hatch from the eggs. Most birds, although not all, actually can fly. Penguins, for example, and ostriches cannot fly. However, penguins can swim and ostriches can run really, really fast. Our final group are mammals. Fossil record shows that they show up even more recently than other groups in the fossil record. Dogs, whales, humans, bears, kangaroos are all examples of mammals. Mammals get their name from the fact that they have mammary glands, glands that produce milk for feeding their youngs. Like the birds, mammals are endothermic. To help them stay warm, mammals usually have hair or fur which insulate them so they don't have to burn as much energy to maintain their body temperature. Mammals usually take much more time to caring for their offsprings than most of other animals. For one thing, mammals nurse their young for weeks or even months on the milk they produce in their mammary glands. All mammals use internal fertilization. Mammals can be herbivores, omnivores, and carnivores. I hope you guys remember what is the difference between three types of eating relationship. Mammals are generally more capable of learning and remembering things than most of other type of animals. They have complex nervous system and large brains. A mammal existed during the time of the dinosaurs, but they mostly live underground as a small rodents. When the dinosaurs went extinct, there were less competition and mammals were able to adapt and evolve into all the ecological niches left vacant by the dinosaurs. Now, there is a wide variety of mammal species living in diverse habitat around the globe. We learned so much today. Now you know what kind of animals we call vertebrate animals, animals with a backbone, and you also know 5 different classes of animals. For your homework, do a quick observation of any kind of animals of your choice, maybe even your pet. Write down, is it warm-blooded or cold-blooded vertebrate? What does it eat? What kind of cover it has? And I will see you next time. Bye now.